Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Go to Trades, and I'm back with a Straw Hat Trading Channel. We are back with another weekly analysis of the stock market ahead that you and I, being you, we are both prepared for what's to come in the stock market. Listen, guys, I know I've been away for a little bit, basically starting from that Valentine's Day, weekend. Now, I told you guys I wasn't going to be here for the Valentine's Day weekend for the weekly analysis, but I end up not being back for the whole month of February. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't intend to be gone for so long. It's just I was still doing like my midterms and stuff, so it got kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. It got super crazy, studying. It got really crazy. I didn't have time. If I had the time, you guys know I'll be here, man. I would be here. I would, but I didn't have the time. Right. So I missed a few videos that I wanted to do, the weekly analysis videos, and also my update portfolio for basically how my portfolio and how my trading progress has been over the past year to date. And I'm going to go ahead and make those videos. Obviously, we're doing the weekly analysis right now, but in terms of the road to 10 grand, I'll make that video next. So you guys will have that. You guys can watch that. It might be uploaded a little bit after this one. Who knows? Something like that. It should be, yeah. But anyways, here is the weekly analysis video for the March 10th date that's about to come. We're gonna play this week. We wanna be green. You know, obviously the market has been red for a while, and I've been actively keeping up to date in my Discord. So again, look, listen, if you guys want to make sure, even if I don't make YouTube videos, I always make my weekly analysis, my monthly analysis on my Discord. Now, it's, of course, is here down below in the description. You can go ahead and join it. These are super important. It doesn't matter. I use them for me. You get what I'm saying? Not even just for like my community or you guys. I do it for me, really. But anyways, that's enough rambling. Again, if you guys want to check out the Discord, it's down below in the description. But look, listen, guys, the market has been red for a few weeks now. And a lot of people are wondering if the bottom is in. Now, if I were to give you a quick answer to that, no, I don't think the bottom is in. Personally, I don't think the bottom is in. Now, I have analysis that kind of go along with that, but I can tell you this much: the bottom is almost there. It's almost put in, and I honestly think that we are setting up to, for some short-term pain for long-term gains. Right now, before I go really into that, let's look at this heat map, right? The S&P 500 heat map, we can see it. We have our risk on sectors, like our technologies and our financial sectors. They're looking weak, guys. They're looking weak. You got the retail trade looking kind of weak. You have the commercial services looking kind of weak. Everything's looking weak. The only ones that's kind of holding pretty well, and I've been talking about it a lot, is healthcare. Healthcare, utilities looking okay. You have the healthcare technology. You have the non-durables, the XLP names. Even producer manufacturing is looking pretty good. And transportation is starting to catch a bid even as well. Now, what do I see from this, right? I personally see that we're obviously risk off in the market and we're still defensive. So we should probably be playing those defensive names at the moment. But I am kind of noticing that transportation is getting a bid right now. I would look at this, right? I've been talking about Uber a lot, and Uber is actually setting up to do some crazy things, in my humble opinion. And I would be watching the transportation market. I'd be watching this, right? Producer manufacturing is looking kind of iffy. I do think that it may catch like a really big bounce if you find strength this month. If we start finding weakness in producer manufacturing this month, I don't think it will be a dead trade. But if you start seeing, buyers stepping in to close the month on like producer names like Caterpillar, Lam Research, I think you're setting up to do some crazy things. Okay, next let's go over the earning report. I do think that earnings this week is going to be pretty interesting. I'm not really looking too much of tech, right? But if I had to look at the tech names, the only one that kind of like turned me on a little bit, if I were to say, would be the Adobe. I like Adobe a lot. I do think that it may be setting up to do something crazy towards the upside. I'm not too sure. I wouldn't really play earnings on Adobe, but I would be watching it. I'd also be watching for Sentinel-1. This is a cybersecurity names. I am bullish on cybersecurity for the very long term. And iRobot. I think robotics is going to start. People are starting to look at robotics right now. And I do think if you position yourself correctly, robotics might just be one of those names in the future that can definitely be one of the next AI revolution thing. You get what I'm saying? I do like robotics a lot, so I would just tune in to iRobot. I'm not saying let's buy it, let's get into it. I'll just tune in. Now, obviously, you do have Oracle. That's a data name. I don't really too much know what's gonna happen with the Oracle names. Not really too sure, but I do like the pharmaceutical companies. You got big pharma. I like healthcare. Healthcare looks amazing right now. So a lot of these names are those. So obviously I'll take a look at that. But one sleeper that I would be watching right now is Ulta Beauty, right? The reason why is because if we are taking the recessionary path in the markets, Ulta Beauty, all right, beauty stores, beauty shops, beauty products, those are the names that kind of rally in harder times. So I definitely watch Ulta and see how their earning reports go. Not only their earnings, but let's see how they guide. I would want to see their guidance. So Thursday after close, I will be watching Ulta Beauty. Okay? That's what I would really be watching right now. Okay, so now next, let's look at this week's major U.S. economic reports and Fed speakers. Listen, so we do have on Wednesday our CPI. That's really the only thing that I'm watching. So you have the CPI year over year. You have core CPI. You also have the PPI on Thursday. That's going to be pretty important. And I think you got your Wednesdays and Thursday session kind of mapped out to see okay, are we going to get a knee-jerk reaction? Are we going to get some type of bounce from this? Are we going to get some type of sell the news? Who knows? I don't know. So I will just be watching. Obviously, I'll be very mindful of the Thursday and the Wednesday session. So yeah, please pay attention to this. Next, let's go over this week's performance. So this week's performance was pretty good. So for March, the first week of March, look, we went 4 out of 5 for the week. That's good. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Now, what's amazing about this is these were 100% gainers. Not 100% gainers, but 100% hit rate, right? For these trades. I like that. So I've been taking 1 or 2 trades a day. So if you know, for Monday, I only took 1 trade. For Tuesday, I took 3 trades, and that's when I kind of messed up. But my Wednesday, I took 1 trade. Thursday, I took 1 trade. I took 3 trades on Friday, but this was a calculated risk play. So I've been trying to scale down on my trades. I didn't go over my monthly performance for February. I'm going to go over it in the next video, but I didn't do that well, right? And it's because I was taking a lot of volume trades, and that wasn't, it was harder for me to manage all the volume trades. So instead, I've been trying to just manage, 1 or 2 trades in a session. Now, obviously, I have other trades sitting because these trades were majority of scalpers and aggressive in my aggressive account, my trading account, not really my investing account. My investing account, I've been sitting in it for maybe a month now, and it's doing wonders right now. It's doing really good. But yeah, we're doing pretty solid. So I had a coin play for 200%. This was a really good play to start off the the day. Start off the month. It was a really good play. The Tuesday session didn't do that well. I ended up playing. So this was a what can I say? It was like an insurance play. As you can see, it was kind of just to hedge my other plays. So I didn't mind this going to 0. But I had a plan which ended up working out in the long run for this, just in case. It's like a hedger. So it was whatever. This was pretty good. I mean, this is small put. 83 made $83 off of it. Small put. This one was also small. I didn't mean to even trade this day. I was taking profit. Oh yeah. So yeah, I ended up cutting one of my my positions early because it was just chopping around. So I ended up taking for a little bit of profit, and we made a bulk of our move in our trading account on this day. So it was pretty good. Now obviously you might see the gains, and it's like, oh, whatever. It's like $400. Okay, $400, cool. Okay. But $80, $22, $200, so what? Well, it usually adds up, right? So it just adds up for the week. The week I made $600 for the week. That's pretty good, right? Now, obviously this compounds. So if I keep it up, maybe this 600 for this week or for week 3 might just end up being 1,200. Who knows, So it's okay. Now, I think this was a solid week. I just want to keep up the momentum. Okay, so next we're going to go over the macroeconomic sentiment report. That is our dollar and our U.S. bond yields. Now, the dollar is starting to expand in a range right now. So it looks like we are somehow getting some type of bounce here. Now, the bounce is between like 103.4. And this is where I found buyers stepping in. So if buyers actually hold you up, this would actually end up being support level. Now, usually with support on the dollar, anytime you get into a support zone in the dollar, you usually find weakness in equity markets. And whenever you find you're hitting like major resistances in equity markets, in the dollar, you end up finding some type of support in the equity markets. So at this time, I would actually be looking to see if there are any short opportunities in the market. Only because that's what the dollar is telling me. We're kind of basing in support around this area. So because of that, I would kind of assume that there's still some more pain in the market. And obviously that's just my cheat code in the market. That's how I could kind of tell if buyers are stepping in or if they're not. And it's just the dollar. The dollar kind of gives you a little cheat code of what's going on. And the dollar is telling us that we are still pretty much bearish right now. I wouldn't even pay attention to the bearish move on a dollar. I would be paying attention to what was like the actual price action right now. So us finding support right now, it's pretty, I would say, kind of still bearish for the equity markets. Mainly because I do believe that if we find this support, we're going to start to rally on a dollar. And once you get that rally move on a dollar, then that's when we could start to try to find some type of bottom. So if we get some type of bottom on the equity, it should coincide with some type of top or with some type of resistance here on a dollar. So where's the resistance? I kind of mark it out right here. It's between 106.3 to maybe 107. So anywhere in this area, I do believe that the dollar should find some type of weakness. And that's when I would start looking at like maybe we've kind of found some type of bottom on the equity markets, on your NASDAQ, on your QQQ, on your SPY, stuff like that, okay? So that's what I'm watching. US yields pretty similar. They have like pretty much the same expansion towards a downside pattern. So even if you look at here, you've already established that this is a support zone. This is where demand lies. So obviously the US yield, same thing. They kind of work hand in hand with the dollar. So it looks like you are starting to trend up, and obviously you do have some type of resistance area here. So maybe between 4.4%, 4.5 around here. This is where I would look for some type of sell, some type of sellers to step into the market, because you do have overhead supply right here. So I would be watching for that. But yeah, it's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple chart. But yeah, let me know down below in the description what you guys think. And let's move on to our futures market. So the futures market looked pretty interesting, right? And let's go down. Let's look at a daily. The daily paints a better picture. It's hard to see it on the weekly. So we're on a NASDAQ. Let's go ahead and expand this out. So on the NASDAQ, we are trending lower on the daily chart. This is a clear downtrend, like super duper clear. And at the moment, even though we rallied on the Friday session toward the end, this was just a bull trap. All you guys that bought this right here is just a bull trap. Right now, the futures market has opened, and it's even proving that. You even gapped down on the futures market, and you're staying in this resistance zone. So I'm sorry to say it, but if you bought during that Friday session, you got trapped. I'm sorry to tell you, but it is what it is, right? However, I do think that coming tomorrow on starting Monday, guys, I do think to start the week we are looking for a nasty sell. We're looking to start the week with a nasty, nasty sell, okay? I do believe, though, that we are entering major buy zone here. Our major buy zone lies right here between... It lies right here. Let me mute this. Okay, boom. It lies right here between 19.4 and 18,877. So we'll look something like this. So we'll poop the bed, and maybe we might even just like grind lower. Like we might just like keep grinding lower. But I do think that this area here is where we want to be buyers. There's major buying demand zones here. So you do have one, if you see in this area, you have your previous all-time highs right here in July. This is when you originally found buyers to bring you back to all-time highs. So if you end up making a higher low here, because this is basically like your hard higher low, right? So if we end up making a higher low here, let me go ahead and take out my marker. Where's the marker? Okay, boom. So if we end up making some type of higher low right here, I do think that we can easily try to retest this this trend line. And if we end up retesting this trend line and failing, so let's say we look like this, right? Let's say we find buyers here, boom, and we end up grinding high, right? If we end up testing this trend line, this lower body trend line here, end up testing it and failing, that's when I'm actually super bearish in the market. That's when, at that point is when I don't want to be long in this market, because all that would propagate is some type of head and shoulders on the monthly and weekly charts. So that means you would be like when I mean bearish, I mean like super duper duper bearish. That means like, yeah, we don't look good, right? So that's what I'll be watching for. So obviously it's one step at a time. And I do think right now is the best time if we can get down here between 19.3, 19.4 and what is this, 18.8. If we get down here, we find some type of base and then rally back up, I do think that we can possibly try to get that relief rally towards the upside. And we can see, we'll go from there. Like we'll see if this action right here, we can create this type of action to where some type of head and shoulders, and then we just do a major sell-off, right? Because even if we do a major sell-off, like we still have this previous all-time highs in 2021 that I think that we should be trying to test, right? I wouldn't be opposed to testing that. I wouldn't be opposed. Like we did kind of test it in August of last year, but I wouldn't mind making a monthly higher low on that just to test it down here. Like I wouldn't mind that. So I think that would be decent. I think that would be a decent buy. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for on the NASDAQ. So it's a super simple chart, super simple. Even if you look at it on an hourly, yeah, it's like you're super simple. Like we're trending lower. We're making a series of lower highs and lower lows. So, this is pretty much what I'm watching right now. So hopefully we get some type of buy zone here. And yeah, I'll be a buyer. But until then, I'm still looking for shorts in the market. Is the ES showing us anything different? No, it's not. Pretty much the same thing. You have your double top breakdown. You broke the neckline and you're dying here. Like this doesn't look good. You have a daily breakdown here. So you're trending lower on the daily. Even if we go down to the hourly, it still looks terrible. Like you still look terrible. And honestly, I do see us breaking down to possibly test like this buy zone right here. So it's between 54 and 55,000. I mean, 5,500, 5,400. So this is where I'd be watching for buyers to step back into the ES. So that's what I'm watching for at the moment. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Again, I'm not gonna go too in depth with this because I think it's just so clear. It's picture perfect. This is what you want to see. Honestly, this is a trending market, so it's trending lower. And anytime you have a market that's trending, it should be easy to trade, right? So right now this is just an easy trade down to the downside until you break above any of these key levels. So if we break above this trend line, then okay, then we go back bullish. But if we don't, I mean, we're just trending lower, and this is the major buy zone that I have marked out. So that's what I'm watching for. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the Russell and the Dow Jones show me a little bit of a different story. This is why I think that we might just be bottoming. We might be finding some type of bottom very soon, right? Because I do think that the bottom is basically about to be put in on the Russell. So this downwards trend line here on the Russell is showing that we are finding buyers here at this support level. So that means buyers are stepping in. We're finding some type of demand. Now we're going to try to, in my opinion, we might be trying to test this like lower belly of the move right here. So it's 2200. This is where I do believe buyers would want to basically try to target, and sellers would try to knock you down. So that's what I'm watching right now. So I'm kind of a little bit bullish on the Russell, as well as the Dow Jones. I think the Dow Jones look pretty good, right? Let me go ahead and make this boom, boom. Here we go. Yeah, the Dow Jones look pretty good. You do have a potential double top, maybe. If you break down your neckline, then okay. But here you're looking like you're setting up to bounce. So if we end up bouncing here, my only thing that I'm kind of worried about is getting some type of higher low action, right? So we have a high, not higher low, I meant lower high. So we have a high, lower high, and we might be setting up to make another lower high right here. So if we find buyers in this area, which we've been finding buyers here, and our buyers bring us up to this area, so between 44.8, so between 44.8 and 44.2, if we fail this, then I do believe that we're going to set up to, dump, right? And what type of pattern is this, guys? Anyone? I'm going to give you a second to answer. What type of pattern is this? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, listen, this is descending triangle, right? My favorite breakdown pattern. So basically, it's when you have a set of equal lows, right? So here's your set of equal lows, and it kind of builds like a flat top base, right? And every time you get here, you get a bounce into lower highs, right? So we have a high, we get a bounce here in this zone here. We get another set of lower highs. Okay, boom, we find another bounce. We get another set of lower highs. We find a bounce, lower highs, find a bounce, and then next thing you know, we fall. I think of it as like a pebble, right? You know when you throw a pebble into a pond, and then like there's a big bounce, a smaller bounce, and smaller bounce, and smaller bounce, and then it just like sinks. Yeah, that's what I see this market potentially doing. It's potentially trying to sink, right? So that can be setting up. I'm not opposed to that idea. It could be trying to set up to fail, or if we end up breaking above this trend line here, this series of lower highs, if we end up breaking above, mounting, and then breaking out, then that's going to be the most bullish thing I've ever seen, right? So that's what I'd be watching for the Dow Jones. And yeah, it's, obviously the Dow Jones and the Russell are showing a little bit of buyers stepping in, but we're still bearish, right? We're still making these series of lower highs and lower lows. So we're just going to have to see how it goes, right? So that's what I'm watching for, at least in the futures market. Now let's continue on with the tech, right? Tech, my favorite sector. All right. Another reason why I think we may be finding a bottom very soon is look at your big tech chart. Big tech has hit our buy zone. Now, it's been our multi-year buy zone. Every time we've gotten to this area, it's proved to be a major buy in the long term. So is this time different? I don't know. So if we actually find buyers to hold us up, we got to like base, right? So if we find some type of base pattern this week, next week, then I do believe that we can rally right back up to all-time highs. And that's what I'd be watching for, right? So which names of the big tech charts do I think yields the best returns, in my opinion? I think it's Amazon. I think it's Tesla. I think it's Netflix, and I think it's Meta. Those are the ones I'd be watching like a hawk, as well as Google. I would not be watching Nvidia. I would not be watching Apple, and I wouldn't be watching Microsoft. I don't like those names at all. But for the shorter term, I do like Google a lot. I think this is like, maybe you can hold it for a while. I like Google, and I think Meta is, that's one of the strongest names, obviously. So that one couldn't definitely be conductive of a major rally. And I do think that Netflix is same thing with Meta, super duper strong, and I mean you can't really go wrong with those names. But I do think Tesla is the dark horse of them all, mainly because listen, Tesla, right? I'm personally, me, go to trades. I am bullish on all things autonomy, right? Autonomous vehicles, robotics. I'm bullish on that. I do think that Tesla right now is hitting a level that I would buy, 250. That is the level I would buy, right? And I do think that as you know, Tesla, that can definitely be a major buy point. And if it's conductive with this chart, I do think that maybe we can be setting up for some major moves to the upside. Now, obviously, I'm going to need to look at the chart a little bit more to make that decision. And we'll have to see how the base forms, because right now there's no good base right now, and I wouldn't go super long right now. But that's what I'll be watching in a major tech sector. Now, XOK, this looks horrible. Now, I've been super bullish on the XOK for so long, but once we broke down out of this lower trend bar here, this doesn't look good. You're starting to break down, right? Now, we end up breaking down the week before, and this week we broke down even more. So in my humble opinion, I think we're probably gonna try to test down here at 210, and maybe even down here at around 204. You know what I'm saying? Like anywhere in this area. So let me go ahead and mark it off so you can see it. So anywhere in this area, I do think we're trying to test, right? I do think we're trying to test anywhere down below and try to build a base here. And obviously, like, I'm just not that long on these names anymore. Even if we get some type of bounce up, you still can be potentially setting up for a head and shoulders here. So obviously we break down, we come back up, we stall down, and then we poop, right? That would be terrible. That means that we would possibly be trying to set up to retest previous all-time highs of 2022, which is in this area right here. And I'm not trying to, that seems like a lot of pain right now. I don't want that. So right now, I'm not really looking at the XOK market. Honestly, I'm really looking at this market to short it. So Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, those are the names I'd be wanting to short, in my humble opinion. The QQQ, kind of same thing like the NASDAQ. I do think that you are setting up to fail. So obviously, you'll start off tomorrow, Monday, maybe around this area here. So between 492, 491, 493, whatever. If we end up failing, I do think that by the end of the week, we should be trying to test anywhere between like 460. So yes, 30 points of downside. I do think we have room to 30 points of downside. Yes, I do. It sounds crazy, but I mean, I do. How much downside was this? This is from like around 520. So you dumped from 520 to 500. We literally had 20 points of downside in one day on Thursday, right? So this is just one day of action. So I think that we could definitely have like that type of move in a few days, right? Because we even had that on this Friday session from Friday. So 3 days of downside. You had 540. You dropped from 540 down all the way to, let's see, to 510. That's 30 points. This right here was 30 points right here. This is 30 points of downside. So I do think that we can definitely set up something just like that easily. 40 points, 30 points of downside easily. So I wouldn't be opposed to that happening, right? So the only way for me to go like bullish on this, we have to curl up. We got to curl up, break out of this downwards trend line, mount it, and then, you know, start rallying back up. But until that happens, like, the trend is down, right? We look bearish. We don't look good. Next, let's go to the chips, right? Chips is pretty similar to everything else, right? And we're just going through these charts. It's just looking a little, you know, just too easy, right? Downwards trend line. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna draw it with the marker. That's how clean this is. Downwards trend line. Your downward trend line. You're grinding lower. It looks like we're trying to test this 205 area on the what do you call that? SMH chart. Now, what's crazy about the SMH chart? Look at the monthly. Jesus Christ. Look at the monthly. Look at this. Look. You look terrible. You're breaking down. Like, you are literally breaking down out of the upwards channel. Your February session, if you were to have gotten in February and do long dated swings on chips, that's not a bad play. Honestly, that's not a bad play. Your confirmation would be underneath this. So underneath 205, I do think that you're setting up for a major downwards trend. And I mean, you got room all the way to, let me see, what is this right here? 158. Because this was like your previous breakout bar, right? Because you had your cup and handle here. You broke out of your cup and handle. So this is where your resistance lies. So you would want to test your resistance, which is right here at 160. So you have so much room to the downside. And guys, I don't want to keep bringing fear into the market, but like, where's the optimistic? Like, where is there to be optimistic in tech right now? Even in chips. If chips don't rally, I don't see tech rallying that much either, right? So SMH looks terrible. XSD, this was your only hope right here. The XSD was looking pretty good, right? It was looking pretty good. Looks like you would probably send up to do something crazy. But even now, you're starting to look bad. You're breaking down out of your downwards trend line. Obviously, you still are kind of holding a little bit, but we need confirmation. It's not looking too good here. Just not looking too good. I would, even if we find some type of buyers stepping into the chip market, I'd probably be looking towards shorting it. Especially when we get into these like areas here on our trend line, if you can see it here. So maybe something around this area at 240, I'd short the hell out of it. I'm not liking it right now. I'm just not liking chips. Chips does not look good. This looks like a nasty head and shoulders right here. Even if we look at it on a monthly, this does not look good. It just doesn't. This looks so bad. It doesn't look good. Same thing. You might be setting up to test this right here. So what is this? Is at 180. So we might be setting up to test 180 because look, we're trending lower. You might be trying to test 180. I have this 190 as one of my areas to target. Yeah, I'm just not feeling it, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really not feeling chips right now, at all. Next, let's go over the sectors. So the sectors that I'm watching for the week ahead, there's a few of them. So obviously, I've been talking about the energy sector. Energy sector looks pretty good. I'm pretty much still bullish on it. I don't think I would necessarily get into it like at this stage. Only because like I don't really like the oscillation. It's just up and down, but it is trending higher, but I'm not really a fan of it. But it looks okay. If you were already in energy, I don't see any panicking here. I think the only sector that I think actually has the immediate opportunity would be your healthcare. Healthcare looks so good. Like, it looks so good. Let me go ahead and take it off a hollow so you can see it a little bit better. It looks so good. Right? So you were potentially setting up maybe a head and shoulders. So we've been marking that this may be a bottom. We've been doing it since January, since the year started. We've been saying that this is what it is. Like, this looks amazing. So obviously I said 147 is where you would want to take profit because you could be setting up some type of head and shoulders, which is right here. Boom, boom, boom. You could be setting some type of head and shoulders, but guess what? You're mounting your 147 area. So us mounting this, right? If we mount and we stay above, which we are right now, we are instigating something crazy right now. We are instigating some type of major breakout on healthcare. We could be setting up to, break back to all-time highs on healthcare and maybe even go even higher, Like, look, you got your fib extension all the way out here to 169. Like, you look really good on healthcare. Multi-year consolidation, multi-year since 2021. You've been consolidating in this area since 2021. You broke out, you're retesting the breakout, and now you're breaking back out. This is textbook. This is what you want to see, and this is the market that I think everyone should be paying attention to. If you're not, you are a fool. Okay? I like it. XLP was super bearish to start the year. And guys, you rallied. I've called out the rally on XLP, and I said, okay, if we find weakness here in this area in the 82, then I do think that we're gonna sell right back down. Now it looks like we're breaking out of this downwards trend line, and we have tagged this high, right? We tagged it and we made a higher high from this high. So now we got to make a higher high here, which is your all-time highs. At this stage, this is what I'm watching. This is looking like a classic inverse head and shoulders. So if we extrapolate this, right, boom, we break back down. Yes, this is what I'm watching for. This is what I'm watching for. This is what I like to see. So if the XOP gets some type of weakness, which it looks like it is, so we're getting some type of weakness and we sell down to this area right here at $80. If we sell down to $80 on the XOP, I do believe this is where you want to get involved. That's your Costco's, that's your Walmart's, that's your Procter & Gamble. This is where you want to get in, right here, in this area. Because if we get in here, break back out, oh my God, we have a major breakout extension that I believe would make a lot of money. A lot of money. So that's what I'm watching for. I like XOP a lot. XLI, I kind of mentioned industrial names in the beginning of the video. Now, again, we got to see, right? So right now, I like the breakout that we had in January. We had that breakout. Now we're retesting and we got to hold. So if we hold above 133, 134, I do think that we could keep rallying higher, but we got to hold it, right? And we got to actually break back above this lower trend line here. We got to break back above. We got to hold this. If we can't hold it, then I think, we might be setting up to dump, right? But if we hold it, I think we could go higher, take out this high right here, and go back to all-time highs. That's what I'm watching for on the XLI. Lastly, I got two more that I'm watching, right? I'm watching the XLY and the XLF. So the XLY, what do I like about it? You are coming to your buy zone. So this is the buy zone that I have marked out. Anywhere between, 200. Anywhere between 200 and, 191. 190, 191. I do believe that this is where you would want to look for buyers to step in. Hopefully buyers step you in, create some type of base, and then, you rally back up, back into all-time highs. That's what I'll be watching for the XLY. And same thing with XLF. It looks like we could be potentially finding buyers here between 47 and $47 and $48. I do believe buyers should step in. One warning, I have to say, this can be a double top right here, and this is your neckline. So if we break down underneath this area, then that's when the trade is off, and I do believe that we are setting up to dump. Okay, so that's what I'd be watching for. Anyways, that's really about it. Obviously, let me go ahead and give you guys some names that I'm watching that I like a lot. So this is the name. I'm only going to put this name, right? There are some other names that I'm watching. Actually, I'll give you two names that I'm watching just because I'm feeling nice, right? So number one, Lockheed Martin. This name I'm watching. I'm actually in. I'm up 100% on my swings. I end up getting my swings down here in February, mid-February. I got it. I said that this is going to be your bottom, possibly end up being the bottom, and we rode it all the way up, right? So right now I'm up 100%. I got the 510 contracts expiring in January, so that's obviously that's a long way around. I like this. Right now we looking like we are trying to break out of this downwards channel. If we break out, I do believe that we can gap fill, maybe come back down, retest somewhere down here around 470 and break back out. And that's what I'm watching for the year. I think this is going to be like a yearly move, like a monthly move towards the upside if we can hold this. Even if we go back out, let's look at it from a line chart. Look at this, right? So you broke out, and now that you broke out, you're retesting your breakout area, which is your previous resistance, which end up becoming what? Resistance into support. My bad, I had a brain fart. I'm so sorry. I went like But yeah, you're ending up setting up to potentially making your previous resistance your now found support. And I like that. Those are your classic breakout and retest, breakout again. So I like that. And it looks like you're potentially trying to form some type of VW pattern into maybe a inverse head and shoulders. I would love that right here. So again, if we break out, gap fill right here between 496, come back down to your 470, 469, break back out, 420, your 520 area, man. Once you break out of 520, I do believe you're going to all-time highs. That's my humble opinion. I like this a lot. This is going to be the best play of 2025 for me. I'm already knowing. Okay. So I like it a lot. I'm not selling it yet. Again, at the 510s, I'm going to see how we react off the gap fill. If we end up filling the gap and then continue going higher, then obviously 520 is going to be my target. 520, 510 is going to be my target. That's going to be where I actually sell for real. And then maybe reposition for the future on a pullback. But if we find weakness here on this gap, then obviously I'll start taking profits there, right? But I'm already up 100% and it looks really good. The last thing I want to kind of go over right now that I think is a really good setup is Coinbase. I do think Coinbase is setting up to do something amazing. This looks like accumulation right here on these lows. Oh my goodness. If you actually start accumulating here, right, on Coinbase. So obviously this have proved to be where buyers are stepping in, and you are accumulating right here. Let me look at the volume. Is the volume spiking? Volume's not really spiking as much as I'd want it to, but it's more than your previous bottoms, right? So I kind of like it. I wouldn't say we're gonna go all the way to all-time highs from here, but even if we find some type of buyers, I do think that we have room to 270, 260. So that's what I'll be watching for. I'll be watching for a 260 push or a 250 push. That's what I'll be watching for. I like it a lot. I like Coinbase a lot this week. That's what I'll be watching for the upside. So Lockheed Martin, Coinbase, those are what I like for the upside. Downside would definitely just be QQQ. I'll be watching QQQ for the downside, SPY for the downside. That's what I'll be playing because I do think that the holistic market is weak right now, which is fine. And individual names are the ones that can potentially rally. And those are the ones that I think that can definitely rally, is Coinbase and Lockheed. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, and I didn't even have this on regular candles out on hollow. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're new. This is your boy Go to Trades. And with that being said, again, wait, before I go, join the Discord. Join the Discord. Down below in the description, super free, free 99, free to everybody. Okay? I don't care if you're whoever you are, wherever you are, where you're located. I don't even care if you're not human, right? It's for you. This is for you. You can be a gecko named PD Pablo. I still want you, PD Pablo, to join the Discord, okay? Anyways, with that being said, I'm gone. Stay green for the week, guys. I'm out.